Restless by William Boyd. Read by Rosamund Pike. When I was a child and was being fractious and contrary and generally behaving badly, my mother used to rebuke me by saying, "One day someone will come and kill me and then you'll be sorry." Or, "They'll appear out of the blue and whisk me away. How would you like that?" Or, "You'll wake up one morning and I'll be gone. Disappeared. You wait and see." It's curious, but you don't think seriously about these remarks when you're young. But now, as I look back on the events of that interminable hot summer of 1976, that summer when England reeled, gasping for breath, poleaxed by the unending heat, now I know what my mother was talking about. I understand that bitter, dark current of fear that flowed beneath the placid surface of her ordinary life, how it had never left her even after years of peaceful, unexceptionable living. I now realize that she was always frightened, that someone was going to come and kill her. And she had good reason. It all started, I remember, in early June. I can't recall the exact day, a Saturday most likely because Jochen wasn't at school, and we both drove over to Middle Ashton as usual. We took the main road out of Oxford to Stratford, and then turned off it at Chipping Norton, heading for Evesham, and then we turned off again and again, as if we were following a descending scale of road types, trunk road, B road, minor road, until we found ourselves on the metalled cart track that led through the dense and venerable beechwood down to the narrow valley that contained the tiny village of Middle Ashton. It was a journey I made at least twice a week, and each time I did so, I felt I was being led into the lost heart of England, a green, forgotten, inverse Shangri-La where everything became older, mouldier, and more decrepit. Middle Ashton had grown up centuries ago around the Jacobean manor house, Ashton House, at its centre, still occupied by a distant relative of the original owner-builder-proprietor, one Treffer Parry, a 17th-century Welsh wool merchant made good who, flaunting his great wealth, had built his grand domain here in the middle of England itself. Sagging tarpaulins covered the roof of the east wing, rusting scaffolding spoke of previous vain gestures at restoration, and the soft yellow Cotswold stone of its walls came away in your hand like wet toast. There was a small, damp, dark church nearby, overwhelmed by massive black-green yews that seemed to drink the light of day. A cheerless pub, the Peace and Plenty, where the hair on your head brushed the greasy nicotine varnish of the ceiling in the bar. A post office with a shop and an off-licence, and a scatter of cottages, some thatched, green with moss, and interesting old houses in big gardens. The oaks, the beeches, the chestnuts were towering, hoary old ancients, casting the village in a kind of permanent gloaming during the day, and in the night, providing an atonal symphony of creaks and groans, whispers and sighs as the night breezes shifted the massive branches and the old wood moaned and complained. I was looking forward to Middle Ashton's generous shade as it was another blearily hot day. Every day seemed hot that summer, but we weren't yet bored to oblivion by the heat. Jochen was in the back, looking out of the car's rear window. He liked to see the road unwinding, he said. I was listening to music on the radio when I heard him ask me a question. "If you speak to a window, I can't hear you," I said. "Sorry, Mummy." He turned himself and rested his elbows on my shoulders, and I heard his quiet voice in my ear. "Is Granny your real mummy?" "Of course she is. Why?" "I don't know. She's so strange." "Well, everybody's strange when you come to think of it," I said. "I'm strange. You're strange." "That's true," he said. "I know." He set his chin on my shoulder and dug it.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?